Hello, my name is Caitlin Murphy. With me today is Dr. Jennifer Rossi, an assistant professor in the American Studies program, and we will be talking about the campus community read and discussion of All American Boys. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Caitlin.
So to start off, can you discuss a little bit about what this discussion is about?
Sure thing. So it's a campus and community read of the novel All American Boys, which involves an incident of police brutality that occurs and what happens to the community afterwards. So the story was actually written by an African-American author and a white author, both male, and half the story is through the black teenager's viewpoint and half the story is through the white teenager's viewpoint. So they each wrote one of the sections so that chapters sort of go back and forth. And the idea is what racial tensions come up in the community and how does the community decide to deal with it through their eyes. And it came about through last fall, Dr. Joanna Maples in the education department and Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith of African American and English departments. They brought the authors to campus and had both of their classes sort of working with this book in a couple of different classes, an education literacy class where they worked with where they're continuing to work with World of Increase students, and a young adult lit class, and also another class. And so we're continuing that with classes that Dr. Arlette and I are teaching this spring separately.
Okay, and now the email mentioned that this event uses the sustained dialogue method. Can you explain a little bit about what that method is?
Sure thing. So the first half an hour or so will be Dr. Arlette's students from her American Dream class presenting on book themes and a synopsis. So anyone who did not read the book is certainly welcome to attend because they'll get the gist of the main themes through that. In the last hour and 15 minutes from 6:45 on, my students will be co-moderating at tables of about 10 people, discussions on themes related to the book, but not in debate style, linking more to our everyday experiences. So rooting it in I statements and things we've witnessed here in the Rochester community or on campus, places people have felt excluded or not included according to race, gender, age, class.
Okay. And your class, it's called the Braves Conversations Honors Class, is involved. Can you explain about what's done in this class and how they got involved?
Sure. So the sustained dialogue method, more specifically, is to listen deeply enough to be changed by what you hear, by the founder of this International Institute, Hal Saunders. So the idea is that through dialoguing and talking about difficult topics related to the Big 8 identities, race, class, gender, sexuality, and so on, students in the group of people initially builds trust among its members. So our class has been doing this every week. We've talked about a different topic. The idea is twofold. Partly that the group itself builds trust and is able to learn how to talk about difficult issues in a civil manner, and not debating and shooting each other down, but listening to understand other people so that we can enlarge our perspective. And then the second part of that is the dialogue to action method. So it's a 5-step process where we move from talking about issues to looking at the root causes of why they continue to occur, to developing an action plan to make, in this case, our campus or our community, Rochester, more inclusive. And so they've been working on that in my class, and Dr. Arlette are the book experts.
Okay. And why was the book All American Boys? I know you said the authors came here last year, but why exactly was the book chosen for this?
So that is really Dr. Arlette Miller-Smith and Dr. Joanna Maples, and their effort continued from the fall because so many students were interested in it. There were people from the Fairport community of teachers and students in discussions about the book, people from World of Increase, School 58 in the city, and it got so much positive response as a way to talk about difficult subjects that many people don't feel comfortable talking about or they don't have a lot of information on. And this was a pathway for people to have those sorts of discussions that are really needed in our society today. And so I was happy to jump on board their wonderful journey and continue it through the spring.
All right. And what can those who attend expect from the discussions?
Expect to certainly and we have introductory remarks by the provost, so that'll be pretty exciting because he's been part of the National Coalition Building Institute. And so he is familiar with these kinds of dialogues about difficult conversations. He has a lot of expertise in that area. So we're looking forward to hearing from him. There will be lots of hot food, mac and cheese balls, mott sticks, buffalo wing bites. We've set you up. Fruit stuff for the vegans. We've set people up, and just to listen a little bit, to hear other people's perspective and a fuller background of the book by the students who are experts, and then to just sit with our peers. Faculty, staff, and students and community members don't often have a chance to sit down, eat some good food, and talk about difficult issues in a way that we learn something and get a takeaway out of that. And I did want to mention that this is the first part of a 2-part public series. We'll have another event coming up in March where we do conduct a root cause analysis where we invite the public, and then the honor students will take that forward and develop an action plan. And they, along with some students from Dr. Allette's class, will be presenting a workshop at Facing Race, Embracing Equity, or FREE, which is a Rochester conference that's been held a couple years now. So they'll be giving a workshop at a professional conference for local activists, community members, teachers, and professors.
All right, wonderful. And just last thing, what is the date, time, and location of next week's series?
Thank you so much. It is next Tuesday. Don't miss it. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. in Cleary Auditorium in Carney Hall. And even if you're getting out of class or you're coming from work and you want to come a little late, we will gladly make room for you and save you some food. Please join us.
All right, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a lot.
Right, and to see this interview, please go to Facebook at Cardinal Television Fisher, and you can also find other programs such as this on Time Warner Cable Channel 12. I'm Caitlin Murphy for Cardinal Television.